Hello creative friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we've got a fun unboxing video with the January Elle Studio release. I have peeked in here and looked at it, but let's open the box and I will share what's in here with all of you. So the January release has a lot of references to both January and February. So we're basically getting started on Valentine's documenting a little early. I've got the main kit and the add-ons, and so let me put this aside and let's go through the main kit first. Okay, as usual, we've got some punched out die cut pieces. And they reference number 1 and number 2, so first month, second month of the year. XOXO, kind of referencing February. But then we've got a bunch of blue and purple, sort of winter colors, and teal and dark blue, I should say. And then first photo of 2026. So we've got a mix of January type items and February type items. Trying to see, did that get a little blurry there? Let's see if I can make sure we're focused. Okay, I think that's good. Now, I'll pull out the other die cut set. I won't read them all, but I'll just highlight some of the sentiments. Fresh start, referencing January. Let's stay inside today, so referencing cold January. But then we've got the pinks, reds, and purples that sort of go with more of a February documenting. So this kit will span 2 months. Let's see. Now, let's do the 3x4 tags first. New year, new stories, new adventures, new photos, new memories. That is a perfect card if you're doing like a project life type documenting and you want to put like the 2026 new year as sort of like a title page. Obviously you can put those on a layout too, but that was the first thing that kind of popped into my head with those. Got a nice label card, winter time, nice journaling spot with some tags printed on it or labels. Winter, typical usual record breaking. January, note to self. Here's a who, what, where, when, and why. If you have an event, you want to just document the facts about the situation. Now here we go. These are more February themed. Love you and the ombre colors. I love this heart pattern with the pinks and the purples. There is a digital die cut pattern in the digital files with this, and I may use that and cut that out for a spread. We'll see. XOXO and a little journaling tag. This one could go up this way or this way and be a journaling tag. Focusing on today, this month, this year. Currently loving. Currentlys are always great. They go any time of the year. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Do a quick jot of what you did each day of the week. File this under a winter's adventure. Up a little farther, there we go. And memo, this is really cute. Love the little heart stamp. And I like the red and blue. That's a little bit different. I like mixing those. And then we've got the 4x6 tags. A nice solid blue with the light blue and the dark blue, solid red, and then this pretty different shades of teals and blue with the hearts. That could be both January and February, so that's lovely. So next we've got, these are phrase stickers. Let me pull them out of the packaging just so we don't get the glare. We get 2 sheets. First one starts with January in a dark pink color. And then when we flip it over, we have February and February type sentiments in more of a light pink. So again, I won't read all of these. Let me make sure that's some focus. But we start off with a sans serif, a block, January, and then there's other fonts of script fonts, like my favorite part of January, kind of a bold, ready for this, another bold, note to self. But then we have some script wonderful on the schedule, love you. Flip it over, our February, happy Valentine's Day, lots of love, so a mix of different fonts, which is really fun. Date night, currently. This makes me so happy. Those will be great to add to any project. Let's put that over here. Office tab stickers. We've had a few office type tab stickers over the last few months. And these all look like office cards, but they're small stickers, and you can do some small journaling on those. Comes in the different colors of the kit. And then you also get 2 sheets of those with different colors and different shape. Actually, basically the same shape, but just different patterns on the different stickers. Now this one I think is super cute. It's kind of like those conversation heart candies. They're called the Sweetheart stickers. You've got some that are small with no words and some bigger ones mostly with words, although there are some solids in the bigger ones as well. And then on the back side, it's similar colors, but the wording is slightly different on the different hearts. So this is super fun. I love this. I love anything that's kind of got a conversational heart look to it. Here we've got some thin label stickers. Now these are fun. This is sort of a new shape on the label. So we've got a place you could easily put this on a 4x6 photo or a 4x6 tag and do a little bit of journaling or stamping. And then on the back side, we have more of a white background with an outline of the color. So you could do that, use the white outline or the colored outline. Those are fun. We've got our January labels. This time it says currently loving, eating, listening, making, watching, exploring, reading, enjoying, creating, and working on. This would be great to cut these all up and do either a 6x8 or a 12x12 spread, and you could have small pictures with what you're currently listening and making and all these different prompts. That would be super fun. Now let's get to the stamps and dies. So sorry for all the crinkling here, but I want to prevent the glare. Let's pull this out. So here is the Everyday Life stamp. As it implies, it's got everyday sentiments on it. Favorite moment of the week, everyday life, simple joys. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Life right now, important notes, a good day. So this is stuff that you can put on any documenting because it's everyday life sentiments. So that's very useful. This one is our currently loving stamp. Now we do have kind of a loving February Valentine's Day theme a little bit with some of our products here, but what we're currently loving can apply to all times of the year. So you can do a currently loving every month of the year. It doesn't have to just be in February and for Valentine's Day. So it's always nice to have different hearts and love sentiments, but we've got currently loving, sort of a little label, journaling spot. Here is that heart that I pointed out that I liked on that one journaling card. Where did that go? I think it was right here. That's the same stamp. That's fun. So then we can have that and put it on other products. This is love with like a fill-in, a solid fill-in. Love you, XOXO, in different layouts. We've got more journaling lines with some hearts, fave, small hearts, medium hearts, and a larger heart. This one has a love this so much. All we need is love, loving every moment. So again, we can use these all throughout the year, even though they're being released in kind of connection with a February type release. This is actually practical all year. Now, this is super fun. This is very bold and dynamic, but very practical. We have month and days stamps. Now, this would be a great way to start off if you wanted to have consistency in your album and have the same font and for your monthly cards or for your day of the week cards, like if you're doing a project life type documenting. You can also stamp some of these out. If you stamped these out, you have these smaller words: highlight, favorite, stories from, photos from, junk from, delights. I like that junk from. That's kind of a different type of sentiment we don't usually see. Bits and pieces collected in, good stuff from, in photos. So you could put these smaller words above or below these bolder words, or depending on the colors that you're stamping, you might be able to put them in the center as well. So we can try that in a little bit here. And then lastly, we have two fun new dies. Now, this one has a score line in the center and will fold down. I can tell it'll fold down. We've got a cutout heart in the center and the scallop top, and it looks like we're going to have a closed mechanism, so you could tuck this in. Let's see if I put it up here. Let me get this ruler. It looks like it is 3 inches across, so that is going to fit inside a pocket. And it is exactly 4 inches tall. So this can fit inside a pocket. It can also go in a memory keeping type journal, or you can even put it on a 12 by 12 layout. Any of those would work. So that'll be fun. And then we also have a bunch of, this is called the Little Hearts Metal Die. So in addition to some standalone hearts in different shapes, this one has a scallop around the edge. That one's really pretty, clustered. I really love these tags. Love you with some hearts. These would be fun to die cut out and put a little ribbon around and make a cute little decoration. So that is what is available with the kit and add-ons for January. Now, one thing I wanted to try this video, which I haven't done before, and it was partly inspired by me cleaning out my craft room a little bit. I'll pull these stamps over again. I was cleaning out one of my containers and I found this notebook that I had used last year. And I had started, anytime I got a new stamp set, I would just practice stamping. I would just use different colors. I would just make different patterns, just to see how the stamp worked and how it would look in different configurations. This, at the time that I did it, I loved it. This was great. It kind of reminded me what I had in my collection. It also prevented me from putting stamps away and then never using them. This was really fun. And I don't know why I stopped, other than it just got busy and I forgot to do it. So I thought it would be perfect. I would love to get back in the habit of doing that again. And I think what I'm going to do for the rest of this video is practice stamping with these 3 stamps. I think what I'm going to do, if you're not interested in seeing this part, feel free to stop the video now. But what I'm going to do is speed up the next portion, maybe put some music on, and I'm just going to practice stamping. And with these 3 stamps and kind of see what I can make with it. And then when I'm done doing that, I will come back and we can talk about how it worked out. So first, what I did before I started is I picked out 4 colors of ink that I tried to match with the kit. I really liked some of the purple that I saw in the kit this month, and I often will use pink and reds, but I thought let's pull out some of the purples, and then I love the teal and the darker blue. So again, you can use any colors you want. It can match the kit. It doesn't have to match the kit, but oh, and then I wanted to also pull out a black. Where did that go? And then just a black neutral. So this is what I'm going to be using. And that way, if these do work out nicely, I can put them sort of like with the kit for the month, and then I'll know which colors from my stash will work. So let's get started with our stamping. And if you end up liking this portion of the video, please leave me a comment below and I will continue to do it in future months. But let's see how this goes for now. Okay, so what did you think of that? That was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed just playing around with stamps with no specific objective. So I was able to play around with some different colors. You may have noticed through the video I swapped out these Pink Fresh Studio for these Catherine Pooler stamps. I was finding that these just were not very juicy and I was not getting very good impressions. They may need to be re-inked, but generally speaking, the Catherine Pooler products are very juicy and have a lot of ink. So I went with those. But here basically what I did is I just played around with the different colors. This one I didn't do as many patterns. I did repeat this one in a different color scheme, but I didn't overlap as many on this. But I did play around with the stars and putting them in different places. So that was fun. Then we went to, first off, actually, let me pull that back. So this one up here was this small everyday life stamp. So I think that one is going to be, I think they're all going to be very useful, but this one is just, has very everyday sentiments, so can be used all the time. Then we went to this one down here and it went over to this page. So first off, some things you may have noticed is when I was taking off a stamp, I was rubbing it on my skin. Now, I do that because whenever stamps come from the manufacturer, they can have some like byproducts left on the surface. So you just want to get that off. It's called seasoning, and you also want to make sure there isn't any residue left over from the manufacturing process and that the stamp can collect ink really well. Now, a lot of people will use an eraser to do that, and you will notice I did move to that, but not because I liked the quality better. Generally speaking, you can use either one. I just always have my hand and my skin with me, where sometimes I don't always know where my eraser is, so that's why I just do that. Now, because I was doing so much stamping, and I don't usually do more than like one or two, my hand was getting a little irritated from rubbing it so much. So then I pulled out the sand eraser. And basically, again, it serves the same purpose. You're just getting off any residue that might be left, making sure that the acrylic is ready for the ink to adhere. Now, the reason I sometimes don't use an eraser is because sometimes you can get little bits of particle from your eraser on the stamp, and that sometimes will show up in your stamping, but I didn't have that problem this time. So you'll also notice again some of my stamping, wherever there's sort of this like bubbly, not bubbly, but sort of these small holes where it's not as great of an impression, that just means it needs to be seasoned more. So basically I either would want to rub the eraser again, or I might want to just practice stamping with it a little bit more so I can get a full coverage next time I use that. So that was another reason that it's great to practice with the stamping. So with this one, I did a little bit more practicing of overlapping just to get some ideas of what combinations I might like for my projects. Some things worked out great. Some things, you know, I may not want to repeat, and that's perfect because that's what this practice is for. So I loved overlapping the hearts and the different colors. This stamp is a perfect example of why this practice is something I want to keep doing. When I first saw this stamp, my first thought was, oh, that will work great down the side of a journaling tag. And that was the only thing that my brain saw with that stamp. But then when I stamped it, I was like, wait a sec, I think I can do different colors and make that into a pattern. And I love that pattern. That would be so amazing behind some pictures, kind of like some mixed media on a page. I love that. And that I did not see that when I initially looked at that stamp. So that is one of the reasons I love doing this project. Here I just stamped the outline in a couple colors, filled it in. I really liked this tiny little XOXO as sort of like almost like a subtitle under that. I used that a couple times. I thought I used it somewhere else too. But that was something, it's so small right here, I didn't really even notice it, but then when I played with it, I'm like, I love that. So I used some of the other small subtitles just to layer to see how I liked that. This one is a really cute like speech bubble. That would be cute, and I liked layering the different colors. And then I used the little the little heart to just kind of fill in and play around with some of those spots. So that one I had a lot more fun layering compared to this one that I did over here. And this is just, again, another way to kind of see what you like about the different stamps and what patterns you can make with it. This one would be great stamping on top of photos, titles for journal tags, and then this one was so much fun to layer and make different images from. And then lastly, we had the months and days stamp. This one was very fun. I think I had the most fun with this one because I played around with the different months and days, and then I just played around with putting the different subtitles in the middle, below, and then also above the months or the days. And I just played around with different colors. I did start getting a better impression when I started using the eraser down here. I mean, all these came out excellent. This one actually is a little mottled. Probably need to practice with that one. Could also be the ink too. Do think I used these, but some of the lighter inks are not giving as full of a coverage. And so then again, that's just something to note. Could it be the ink? Could it be the stamp? Could it be my seasoning or lack thereof? Could be a couple of things. So just fun to play around with all of these. And I think I'm going to keep doing this. Let me know what you think below in the comments. If you have any questions about my stamping practice, I'm definitely no expert on stamping, but I do enjoy it a lot and try to do it regularly. I do want to start layering up my stamping more. I think you get some really fun images when you do that. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like those walkthroughs and these stamping practices, and I will have some videos up using these later in the month. So have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye now.